Welcome to Forsaken, a game that on a coin flip I absolutely love and hate.
Then again sometime.
Wait, coin flip? Oh God, not him. Ah! Him. Anyways. Forsaken is one of those survive the killers type of game, but instead you are given abilities to help your team or fend off the killer. And I'll show you every single one and how they work. Noob is the first character you get when you start playing the game, and he gives you 3 abilities to fiddle around with. The first being Bloxy Cola, which gives you a stamina and speed boost when you drink it. But you are vulnerable to killers when you drink it, so don't use it when they are nearby. The second ability is Slate Stone Potion. It makes you incredibly tank and killer attacks do barely any damage. The downside is that you are extra low and it can be used as a way to get your energy back up when you're in a desperate scenario. The last ability is Ghost Burger, which turns you 75% invisible when you eat it. So it's good for sneaking past the killers who are hot on your trail. Overall, Noob is decent, and I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's a good character when you are learning the ropes of the game. Elliot is a support class who throws pizzas to heal his allies. The reward for being a good Samaritan to your team is that you get a second ability called Rush Hour, which gives you a 3-second speed boost for just healing your teammates. This can really save you in a pinch when you are being chased by the killer or are the last man standing. I would generally say Elliot is the best support class in the game for its simplicity and how powerful it can be to turn the tide in the round.
Shut the fuck up! Know your fucking place, trash!
Two-Time as a character is as useful as a pile of rocks. He does literally nothing for his team, nor does he have any good abilities to make it worth using. His entire gimmick is that he has a second life that temporarily makes you a little bit faster. So once you die, you get faster for about 5 seconds, and then you lose all your abilities. Two-Time is so bad that killers don't even go after him until it's the last man standing, because they know full well that he isn't going to win unless he is a juke god who was born with the ability to break ankles without having a sweat. I'll just let this play out so you can see what I mean.
Then again, one more lap.
It's disgusting the way you play.
Guest is a fun character to use. He lets you straight up go hands with the killer. You are given the ability to block all killers' melee attack, and if you land a successful block, you are given a punch ability used to stun the killer for a good while. Another ability you have is Charge, which just makes you run straight into the killer and stun them. Guest is good for keeping your supporters alive and making the kid behind the screen starting having a tantrum because you keep punching him. Guest takes time and practice to get good at the character. Sometimes you can have games where you block every single attack that comes your way, and then you can just miss everything and become the laughing stock of your team.
This spy has already breached our defenses.
007 and 7 is probably my favorite character to use, because it lets you feel like an absolute god at the game when you trick a killer with one of your clones. But Ian 7 has the main ability of creating a clone of himself and making you invisible. So you can use your clone to go the opposite way from you and lead the killer away so you have time to hide or regain stamina. N7 also has the ability to teleport to the most far spawner, so you can make a permanent getaway from the killer. N7 requires a bit of brain power to use, because if you summon a clone in the open, you're going to be seen. You should almost always use a clone when you are out of sight or turning a corner. just like that, we made a clean getaway. John, aka Big Bully, is a pretty good stalling character. I say Big Bully because every single time I'm killer, there is like 6 Shedletskis who just keep spamming me with swords. But other than that, he is a good character. He has a sword that stuns the killer, similar to Guest. The difference is that Shedletsky can heal himself with the fried chicken he keeps in his pocket for some reason. Shedletsky only exists for 2 reasons: bullying whoever was unfortunate enough to be the killer, and stealing every single pizza Elliot throws out. Chance, also known as Hikari, is the most luck-based character in the game, and the outcome is purely based on gambling. Chance flips a 50-50 coin every second, which gives him either an ability or weakness. You can have a maximum level of 3 for each ability, which gives you more favorable odds of getting the best outcome. However, every time you get weakness, it stacks until you do hat fix, which I will talk about later. So if you have level 20 weakness, you are so weak that someone spitting on you is enough to insta-kill you. Chance also has a flintlock, which has a base odds of 50% chance of doing nothing or hurting yourself, while the other 50% chance gives you a shot to hit the boss and stun him. With level 3, it is a 90% chance for the gun to fire. Reroll is an ability that allows you to have a shot at getting a higher HP count, as Chance starts with a low HP count. It is better to re-roll and try to get 100 to 120 HP at least. The last ability is Hat Fix, which sets your weakness debuffs you had to 0, and if your flintlock broke due to a 25% chance, it comes back to you.
Hey, look, buddy. I'm an engineer. That means I solve problems.
Builderman places sentries for your team to slow down the killer. He can also place a dispenser to help slowly regenerate his team's HP. Builderman is a good character if you are playing against bots. Against good players, you have to watch where you build your sentry, because you are stuck building it until you are either attacked or finished building it. Other than that, Builderman is a good support character if you know what you're doing. Even though 99% of the time your team members don't find the dispenser because you are hiding it from the killer.
Shadow Wizard Buddy Gang. We love casting spells.
Dusakar is another support character that focuses on speed control and making your teammates tanky for a while. Dusakar his spawn protection ability to give any ally resistance so they can get their energy back or survive the killer for a short while. He has another ability called Plasma Beam, which if it hits a teammate, it will give them a speed boost. If it hits a killer, it will give them slowness. Personally, I don't like Dusakar because every time I use him, I'm immediately targeted by the killer. Jason is the first character you have unlocked when you start the game. He doesn't have any long-range abilities that make him actually decent to use. All his attacks are slashes that deal high damage. A lot of new players who play Jason get bullied by Shedletskis and Guest, and they often just rage quit when they get hit once. The first ability he has is Behead, which makes him do a smash deal and hit anyone who is in range. The second is Gashing Wound, which deals insane damage if you manage to hit someone with it. It's easier to hit if someone has 0 energy or is busy doing one of the generators that are located around the map. The last is Raging Pace, which gives you a marker of the closest person to you. The downside is that you can sprint unless you use your slash. This ability isn't very good when some characters can see every single player on the map and get some kind of buff when they use it. Cool Kid is one of the killers, and he has a set of abilities that make him insanely overpowered. However, he doesn't have access to see survivors from far away, so he relies his minions to track survivors for him. The first ability Cool Kid has is Corrupt Nature, which throw a brick in any direction you want. If it hits someone, they are slowed down and become easy targets for you. The second is walk speed override, which makes you go insanely fast, but you can't turn, so you can get weaved and fall way behind on your chase. The last ability is pizza delivery, which summons 2 minions to track the closest survivor and deal damage to them. It's really good for getting people who are stuck in corners. Cool Kid is probably one of the best killers in the game right now, as he has a lot of abilities to put high pressure those who are still alive. John Doe, a killer who can cut people off and set off traps to catch anyone he sees in sight. Although he is a mixed bag, he is sometimes a good killer to use, as he doesn't have a reliable source of damage other than his slashing attack. John Doe's first ability is to call in a wall of spikes that act as a wall and force people to become stuck, forcing themselves to slip by you. This gives you an easy kill. The next ability is Digital Footprint, which sets up a trap in any area you want. If someone steps on it, you get faster, and the person who stepped on it is highlighted. Even if they are far away, this could sabotage their teammate if they stepped in it while you were on a chase with someone else. The last ability, 404 Error, which just lets you see every single player for a short while. I don't use John Doe often, but he does sometimes has a good use when you play him. The skins he has are really good too. 1x1 is the most expensive and by far the coolest out of the 3. His playstyle is mainly stunning survivors using his long-ranged attacks. His first attack is Mass Infection, which has a big wind-up before sending out a shockwave that inflicted poison and slowness on your target. It's a good move to use when paired with his second ability, Entanglement, which is a similar attack with a smaller hitbox. The difference being if it hits someone, they are immobilized and need to click text off their screen before being able to move again. It's very annoying and gives 1x free damage or a kill. His third ability is Unstable Eye. It lets you see every player on the map and gives you a speed bonus. The downside being that you are inflicted with blindness, but it isn't that bad if you can see through it well. This ability also lets you chain your other abilities to hit players from across the map who are unaware. His last ability, Rejuvenate the Rotten, which for every player you kill, they are revived into your minions, and it can be as many players as you want. They only spawn where they died, so you can't really use them that well, but they are still good to have around. Forsaken is definitely a game I would recommend playing. If you haven't already, you can play with your friends or even by yourself and have tons of fun. The developers are frequently working on new characters too, so there will also be a way to consistently have fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, as I haven't really done this much higher quality and long-form videos before, so feel free to like and subscribe if you found this entertaining.